Hey guys, my name is Laura and I am a physical therapist, and I'm going to be giving you 5 tips on how to continue to work out with an injury. Obviously, make sure you're cleared by your doctor to continue to be working out and making sure that what you're doing is okay with your physical therapist as well. But overall, just because you have an injury does not mean you have to stop working out. You can continue to do certain things, but obviously you are going to have to modify depending on what that injury is. My first tip is going to be to work areas of the body besides the area of the injury. So for example, when I was in high school and when I was in college, I had both foot fractures. So I did a lot of upper body core training. I did some cardio stuff as well, but I continued to work out other things that I could do without moving the area that was injured or affecting the area that was injured in any way. You can do the same thing if you have an upper body injury. So for example, in 2020, I had shoulder surgery. So I did a lot of legs and core and things like that. I had to modify a lot more with that than I did with the previous foot fractures, just because you can't hold weight, etc., so forth. But I was still able to continue to work out. I was doing stuff day one post-op, actually. So you might obviously need a little bit of guidance for what you are able to do, but someone like your physical therapist can guide you a little bit more. I kind of mentioned this already, but incorporate some cardio. So you can always do any kind of cardio. So biking, walking, probably running might be a little bit more challenging depending on the injury. But for example, if you have a shoulder injury, you can go on walks, you can do an upright bike or something like that. If you have a lower body injury, depending on the lower body injury, a bike might be helpful, or an arm bike, or even going swimming depending on the injury can be helpful. So you can use all these different types of cardio to continue to have that base. So when you come back, you already have that base, you don't need to rebuild that up, and you can go from there. And honestly, cardio, good for heart health, good for a lot of people do when they do get injured. The weight changes because their activities change. So that can help with some management there so you don't feel as sluggish as you're getting back. Do consider as well with like the type of cardio, balance, getting onto and off of the piece of equipment, the pool. Do you have an incision that it's not safe to get into the water with? And then 3, like the jostling required for that. So for example, running and like a shoulder injury might not be the best idea, or depending if you're not allowed to jostle that area. As always, if you are concerned, just ask your physical therapist and they should be able to let you know if you're allowed to do that or not. You can always train the opposite side. So let's say your right side is injured, you can train your left side, and actually, because of the body and how cool it is, you can actually get gains on the injured side if you train that side. So doing some strengthening exercises on this side helps the nerves fire on the other side at a lower level, of course, so you're not actually moving that side, but it can still maintain some of the strength and some of the gains there. So do consider working out your non-injured side. Just consider your daily life and daily activities. So if it's a shoulder injury or an arm injury and you have to use your other arm a lot and it's already getting tired, it might not necessarily be the best idea to add additional volume on that, but if you're able to tolerate it, it's a great idea. Also consider your nutrition during this time. So your nutrition is going to fuel your recovery. So focusing on some foods that aren't as inflammatory might be a good place to start if inflammation is a huge issue that you are facing with like swelling and whatnot. It can play a huge role because your body is using that to not only survive, but also rebuild those tissues. So your nutrition is important overall, but it's also really important during this time to eat better to help you get back faster. You also want to prioritize hydration and sleep. Hydration is super important. It helps with a ton of body functions, and it also, if you're dehydrated, it also increases the stress on your body, and you want to reduce that amount of stress so your body can focus on the healing of the injured tissues. The hydration can also help with so essentially you have a ton of things at that area of the injured site, which is why the swelling is sometimes important, but it can help carry things away, if that makes sense, via your blood. You also want to consider sleep, because sleep is where your body recovers. You're rebuilding your muscles. It just helps with everything. So you want to prioritize sleep as best you can. I know sometimes depending on the injury, it can be a little bit hard, but if you are given any like pain medications or that might be a good time to, like, as you're weaning off, you might take it during sleep and not other times. But obviously follow your doctor's recommendation of when you're supposed to take your pain meds if you are on any sort of medication. But all in all, you want to be fueling your body so it can function optimally and repair those tissues. And then you can support it with other exercises and keeping your body moving so you can come back stronger than before. So you can also work on another area of weakness. So maybe you historically have been pretty weak in your lower body, but you injured your upper body, then you can focus on that. Maybe you're really good with strength, but not as much with cardio, but now you can build up that cardio base. You have extra time while you're injured to use intelligently to make you come back stronger from that injury. So being injured, although it's a huge negative, it can be a positive because you have that ability to work on those things. So do keep that in mind. I hope that helps. Drop any questions below. Again, make sure you're cleared to do all these things by your doctor or physical therapist. Best of luck getting back to what you love doing and with your rehab process. If you are struggling on where to start, go ahead and check out my Where to Start video.